If we are one, how do we develop and maintain a state of spiritual certainty, detachment, and a positive, focused intention while encountering the ongoing pressures and perceived uncertainty taking place in today's precarious world drama? In our last episode, we delved deeper into the innate powers of intention and manifestation, both from a conscious state of creating the most optimal reality that we may choose for our life, and from a cautionary perspective in being mindful of your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. We also spoke of how synchronicity plays such an important role in the understanding of our course, direction, and interconnectedness to our higher self and source, guiding and providing for us in our individual and collective journey. But with the constant onslaught and exposure to ubiquitous negative influences, information, messaging, and impressions, how do we rise above this continuous drone of adverse energy and remain steadfast in our desired directions and positive intentions? If we are one, what is the state of mind, of being, that we all need to accept, embrace, adopt, and incorporate into our day-to-day consciousness and self-expression? What will it take for humanity once and for all to overcome this last-ditch effort in the surge of negative energy and suppression, trying its best to keep us believing that we have no power? The truth is, we are all coming to a clear and unshakable understanding that we are the power. We are the consciousness moving forward towards the light of love, peace, and everlasting truth. Hi, I'm Daryl T. Johnson. I'm a musician, a teacher, and a QHHT hypnosis practitioner. I'd like to welcome all of you to episode 5 of If We Are One. Hello to all of you. Thank you very much for joining me once again. In this episode, I'd like to discuss what I personally consider to be one of the most important aspects of coming into a conscious awareness of who and what we are as, you guessed it, spiritual beings having a human experience. It starts with something that I began with in my first episode, when we were sharing my initial baselines of understanding. That very first baseline states that you exist. While this may seem obvious, the truth is that everything in our understanding of self stems from this fundamental realization, understanding. Just for a moment, let us please state this empirical truth out loud. I exist. Say it with me. I exist. Again, you cannot unexist. It is from this proclamation of existence that we can expand on a basic fact. I exist. Therefore, I am. I am. The statement, I am, is a very powerful one. It is a statement of origin, of being. It is not a question of faith, but a statement of certainty. It is a proclamation of knowing. This knowingness, this certainty is so much stronger than the concept of faith. For while faith often contains a certain element of doubt, knowingness is absolute and clear. This fundamental degree of certainty found in the I am statement itself is the same degree of conviction that one should aspire to in their spiritual growth and understanding of themselves as the I am. It was Neville Goddard, a writer, speaker, and mystic in the early to mid 20th century, known for his teachings on the power of imagination, who spoke on the power of I am. He said, quote, "There's no such thing as an external reality separate from your consciousness. The world you experience is a mirror, reflecting back to you your own concept of self, your own understanding of the I am," unquote. Now, what he meant by this is so very profound and important to understand. Remember that all that is all there is, which means that everything, including you, is a part of all that is. It means that you are all that is, expressing itself as a unique and individual spark of the one. What one needs to understand with all of this is that everything that you experience, perceive, and interact with is created out of your own consciousness. I don't mean this symbolically. I mean this literally. This also means that everyone that you interact with is also experiencing their reality created out of their own consciousness. These mutual creations form a co-creation of experience so that we all can collectively have our human experience together. But from your specific frame of reference, from your specific point of view, the outward experience that you perceive is created from your own consciousness. Now, I understand that this shift in perspective may take a while to wrap your mind around, but it is essential that this understanding be made clear to you, be made real to you, for it can and will move you to the realization that you indeed create your own reality. You are the arbiter of your experience. It's all you, not anyone or anything else. When we invoke the statement, I am, it is essential that you understand the magnitude of these two words. Goddard put it quite eloquently when he said, I am is God's name. When Moses asked, who should I say sent me? The response was, I am that I am. This same I am dwells within you, and it is your true identity, unquote. So let's unpack this to understand the significance of Goddard's statement. You are the I am, and I am is the name of all that is. Therefore, when you utter things such as, I am sick, or I am poor, you are setting limitations on God itself to do the things that will move you out of such limitations. Again, in Goddard's words, quote, they say, I am sick, I am broke, I am unlucky, not realizing that they are using the creative power of the universe to establish these very conditions in their lives, unquote. Remember before when I stated that everything is energy and vibration, and that this energy is conscious and not a dumb force? This energy is conscious because it is made up of the I am. It is also neutral in order to allow you free will to experience whatever you may choose to experience, regardless of how limiting or stunting that experience may be. And again, it doesn't matter if you are consciously aware of this or not, because ignorance of the law does not change it. You are the I am. Say it inwardly. Use it as a mantra. I am. I am. Say it out loud if you need to. I am. For your true power, your true strength lies in the I am. Now, this brings us to a dichotomy, a contradiction of understanding that needs to be addressed and hopefully clarified, something that you may be finding yourself dealing with or unsettled by as I share these concepts with you. This contradiction of understanding is found in some religious teachings. It's a quandary that I musingly call the problem with the pedestal. I'll explain what I mean. A pedestal is a support or base that elevates and holds up an object, such as a statue. But metaphorically speaking, a pedestal also represents an elevated position of high regard, admiration, and in extreme cases, superiority. When you metaphorically put someone up on a pedestal, it signifies that you may idealize or glorify that person, seeing them as flawless and perfect. While this glorification in and of itself is not necessarily an issue, what is at issue is that from a spiritual perspective, by putting a person or deity on a pedestal, it can infer the notion that they are above me and I can never be that. You see, the problem is the deification. Whenever a person or group deifies a figure to such an extent, it negates the notion that you could ever aspire to something of that magnitude. Moreover, it can also create a belief that the only way a person can gain true spiritual enlightenment to finding their way back to God, as it were, is only through a particular avatar, and not within one's own realization of self as the I am. But I submit to you this idea, this concept, that you may need to ponder. It may shock and even anger some, but I will endeavor to say it anyway. It is this: no known spiritual avatar in human history has ever come to this earth for the purpose of creating or establishing a religion. This was never their intention. They came to this earth for the purpose of sharing truth, divine wisdom, and an understanding of existence and everyone's true place within it. I submit to you that they came with the intention of awakening their fellow souls into the conscious understanding that they, like the avatars themselves, are also the I am. In Hinduism, avatars like Krishna and Rama are considered divine incarnations who descend to restore dharma or righteousness and guide humanity spiritually, but not specifically to start new religions. Rather, they reinforce or renew spiritual principles. Similarly, figures such as Jesus, Yeshua, Buddha, and Muhammad may be seen by followers as founders of religions, and some traditions interpret them as avatars or divine messengers. However, most religious texts and traditions state their purpose as delivering spiritual truth, guidance, or renewal, not explicitly to create organized religion. It was their disciples, those that were left behind after an avatar's mission was complete, who carried on with their mission and message, and as a result, over time created their own personal movements and ways of understanding the teachings of that particular avatar, which later became an institutionalized faith. But like any message that over time is restated over and over again, it changes from the original. Some things may get lost or altered in translation. There is much history and speculation to be found in this regard, but we will not venture into this discussion today. I would only state that at no time in your spiritual journey and evolution should you diminish the true power and magnitude of who and what you are as a spiritual being, whether you are having a human experience or not. You are of God, of source of all that is, period, full stop. So back to living the I am consciousness in your personal life. We are at a point, collectively, within our human experience and evolution, that we are now emerging from the veil, the forgetting, the amnesia, the illusory experience of feeling and perceiving ourselves as disempowered and disconnected from Source. As we more and more awaken to our true nature and innate power as spiritual beings, we realize and understand that we are creating our own experience. And by becoming conscious of this fundamental truth, we now have the awareness and power to change it to our will. We are now at a place where we are realizing ourselves as the I am. No longer living in just faith, but living in knowingness and certainty of our true power. Within this certainty lies an attitude that all should and in time will adopt and fully embrace within you as more and more see the miracles unfold around you by virtue of your own conscious intentions and creations. Now, what is this attitude? As I had mentioned in an earlier episode that spoke on the law of attraction, where individuals attract in their lives whatever they focus their attention on and give energy to, there is an adjoining principle that one needs to incorporate within this understanding. This principle is known as the law of assumption. The concept itself is ancient and universal, found and expressed in many different ways and forms in various spiritual teachings. But the terminology as it is expressed here was presented and articulated in an extremely user-friendly way, again, by Neville Goddard. The concept is simple yet powerful. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, or whatever you firmly believe about yourself and your life, becomes your reality. This means that your assumptions about your circumstances, identity, and world shape the experiences and outcomes you manifest in your life. As Goddard put it, quote, "You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled until your assumption has all the sensory vividness of reality." Now, what this means is that you need to embody the feeling and state of having already achieved your desire as if it is true right now, which according to Goddard helps in manifesting it into reality. It ties into a statement I mentioned in the last episode when talking about visualization, which was, be it before you see it. Do you see how all these concepts are coming around full circle? The power of intention, the law of attraction, the law of assumption. It all ties into the understanding and recognition that you are indeed the I am itself. Goddard also stated, quote, "Assume you are what you want to be, and you will become it," unquote. Now, Neville Goddard's story and insights are wonderful examples of an individual who started from very humble beginnings, but found himself and his connection to I am by virtue of his own spiritual journey and the synchronicity that guided him on his quest to a full recognition of self. Now, the last thing that I would like to leave with you is this. By listening to this and other affirming sources, all bringing you to a conscious understanding of self, your light begins to shine brighter and brighter with every moment. With every practice of these and other principles of enlightenment, your understanding of your true nature, as well as the shedding of old feelings, fears, and beliefs that no longer serve you, are shedding and falling away. With every day that passes, you are vibrating higher, and your light is shining brighter, to such an extent that people around you are feeling your energy, though they may not know what it is. If you are following and embracing these principles, you may begin to find yourself in situations where people begin to cluster around you, not for any particular reason, just that they feel the I am presence of love, of oneness emanating from you. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Be humbled by it. And let it serve as your personal confirmation that you are becoming more awake and aware with every moment. Remember to communicate with your higher self on a regular basis. Notice synchronicity happening more and more in your life. Stay in the now and with the feeling of gratitude. Follow your joy every day, taking it as far as you can. Then turn it over to your higher self. With these and other confirmations yet to be, you move through the eye of the needle with ease and purpose, no longer impacted emotionally and spiritually by the outside chaos of external and inevitable change. You have the knowingness that you are a conscious co-worker with all that is. Embrace it. Become it, because you already are it. You are the I am. We'll be talking more about these and other topics in future installments. And if there is anything that you would like me to discuss or any questions you may have about anything that I have shared, please feel free to mention it by leaving a question or a comment in the comments section. As always, if you have found any of this information at all helpful or enlightening, please like, subscribe, and share with others. I'm seeing more and more people coming to this space, and I thank you so much for being a part of this ongoing movement to a oneness consciousness. I send my love to all of you. And as always, if we are one, let's all live in peace, love, and joy.